Okay, I am being told that we are live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Did you get your
I
notification?
just got my notification.
Woo!
Yay!
Why don't you go ahead, Scott?
Good evening and happy Friday, July. What the fuck
7th.
is it?
Seventh.
Is it the 7th? Happy 7/7/17. Make a wish.
Woo!
It's one of those days. Hi, you're watching Color Circuit, the Circuit Board podcast, the founders of Color Circuit podcast, the official podcast, episode 8.
Episode 8.
We are missing a few people. We have gained a person.
Mm-hmm,
So going around the table, my name is Scott.
We're going from worst to best. Scott, I'm
That is
Dylan.
not true.
No, you're middle. Okay.
Yeah, you weren't expecting that, were you?
And I am Jessica.
Jessica, thank you
Hi,
for being here.
guys.
Jessica is replacing-
hosting today.
Yeah, she's replacing Bon and Kendra.
She's going to have to be
No,
double.
although no one can ever replace them because they're great.
Well,
Yeah.
give it a shot. See what
I'll
happens.
try, but I
Yeah,
think I'll
you have to
fail.
be double the fun today.
Okay.
I gotta-
Double the fun.
I also have to learn how to be further away from the mic because of my laugh and just overall.
You're boisterous.
I'm boisterous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
am
boisterous.
am I-
It's not a V. It's a B.
Boisterous.
Is that true?
Boisterous.
It's not boisterous?
No.
But it has voice. But
And we're off.
are you
Good night.
shitting me?
Good
No.
night, everyone.
No shit is getting on you.
But wait, it has the
is
word voice in it.
voice. BOIST.
What the hell's a voice?
Boy? I don't know. I'm trying to share the episode. I'm not looking up words right now
Dylan?
on Google.
Dylan doesn't have a very wide vocabulary, guys. He's
No.
learning, though.
It's bad. It's
You
a
get
bad
to watch
vocabulary.
as he develops as a person.
I know.
This is pretty fantastic.
It's really nice to watch him grow.
What was the name of the group?
Boisterous. What?
Podcast something?
Podcast
Stadium.
Stadium.
Community? Stadium.
I think
Got it.
Stadium is right.
Very cool. Well, I have some topics that I pre-wrote down, but otherwise, how was your week, Jessica?
It was interesting.
Yeah. Why is
Yeah. Well, let's see. I went to work on Monday, and then I had Tuesday off because it was a holiday. It was Independence Day, which was a little weird.
You're one of those that had the day off. How nice.
Yeah, I did, but it was weird because, and also unfair, not to complain or anything, but the university people, the staff at UNM got to have Monday and Tuesday off, but the people,
4-day weekend.
I know, but the people at the hospital had to come in on Monday and then had Tuesday off, which is, it was kind of a weird week because of that. It was like, oh, here's a little taste of like vacation, and then you have to go back to work again.
Did anything interesting happen at work?
No, my coworker is not there. She's on vacation. And so I've been the only social worker for the team that I'm working on. And so it's
Yikes.
been very busy. And
A lot on your shoulders.
yeah, definitely.
On your
but-
social work shoulders.
Right. But
Social work shoulders.
it was a good week.
Social work shoulders. Social
Social work shoulders.
Social work shoulders.
I can't do it.
Social work shoulders.
But
I think we
yeah,
have a title for the podcast.
social work shoulders,
Social work shoulders.
which are always tense, by the way.
Yeah.
Do you have pads on those shoulders?
Not today.
Okay.
Sometimes.
But
Wear shoulder pads. though.
every once in a while.
Every once in a while. I try
Yeah.
to cut them out of things for the most part. But,
Sure.
When she's feeling excited, she'll put on those shoulder pads.
Right.
It's
On a
a
good
red
day.
letter day. Hike 'em up 3 high.
But yeah, so this week was a little like weird, choppy,
Choppy.
and I was like pretty much living for the weekend, and here we are. Yay.
We're here, yeah.
Yes. Happy Friday evening.
I know.
Uh-huh. What do we have? We have a lot of stuff going on this evening that we'll probably all end up doing together, more or less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We see each other all the time.
All of the fucking.
All the time.
Almost every day.
So what do we? I have. We have this, and then we're doing the.
Yeah, coming up later on Color Circuit, we're going to be doing a trial run. We've never played this game before. It's a brand new card game, tabletop game, Rick and Morty, total recall.
Yeah. Total recall. Not
Total recall.
Not too new. Actually, I saw an interview with the on Game Engine, hosted by Erica Ishii, and oh my god, it's Firefox. On the Geek and Sundry Network, and they had Justin Roiland on, which was probably Erica didn't seem super excited, but she was probably screaming from the inside because her favorite show right now is Rick and Morty.
Yeah,
she said several times, and they had Justin Roiland on, who's the creator, alongside Dan Harmon. I'll probably just end up repeating this all later tonight, but anyways, the idea is that they want to the game company, whoever's publishing this, who is it, Cryptozoic, they want to have all of the episodes. I don't know about all of them, but they want to have specific episodes have their own board game or card game or something like that. So Total Recall is like episode 8 or something of the first season.
Right. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, geez, I remember.
That's a tall order.
And then there's the Pirates of the Pancreas episode where it was their Christmas episode for the season for the season 1, where a homeless guy with a Santa hat, he like dies on their doorstep, and Rick's like, "Oh no, he's the guy that I put a theme park inside of."
Yes.
So so Morty has to go in.
That episode, it's called. Is it called like Jurassic something? Because it's a theme park episode.
Yeah,
and they just released the third game that this company's released is that game.
That's great.
And it is I think you're building the theme park or something like that.
Yeah, that's great.
That's
a great idea.
Anyways, so we're doing that tonight. Tomorrow, what do we have planned? I'm applying for some more jobs.
Oh, this is not streamed. This is in your real life, or you could stream that.
Yeah, I could stream it. Watch some job applications.
Oh God, that sounds fun. Brings me back.
And then probably going to Greg's Comedy Basement. And then Sunday.
Also on Saturday night, Jane from the show is going to be moving to LA, so it will be her last show.
Yeah.
When is she
local improv
leaving?
Group.
I don't know, but I know that I'll be maybe going out with people after the show.
That's Saturday? Got it.
Oh, okay.
To hang out with her before she leaves.
Okay. And the Comedy Basement starts at 10 p.m. Like it's a late night show.
Yeah.
In a basement.
The show ends at the same time?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess it makes... Yeah, I should probably go to the show and then...
Yeah.
That just... Yeah, kind of like...
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, you have to prioritize here, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So many things happening at once.
We have busy lives. What the hell happened?
Greg's Comedy Basement will be there for a long time, though.
Yeah. Barring a fire.
And Jane won't be here much longer.
A lot of people have... All right, so we were there 2 weeks ago at the inaugural Greg's Comedy Basement show.
I feel lucky enough to have been the very first person.
You were the first comedian on the mic.
Yep. Christened his basement.
You peed all over us. And so he does it every other week. So this Saturday is the second one. A lot more people, I think, are going to this one.
I think so, too.
More buzz has been thrown around.
Yeah, and there's actual comedians.
Well, yeah, more seasoned, I guess.
Seasoned is probably a better word.
You know. But...
Sure.
We... so we were there and we saw how small the basement was. It's maybe 2 phone booths, attached to each other. And
smaller
that's
than this living room, surprisingly.
It's real small.
Oh yeah, and it was uncomfortable. It was hot, and he said he was going to fix the air conditioner situation. I totally believe that he's going to try and make it as nice as possible. But there's going to be more people. There's going to be people on the stairs. So if one thing goes wrong, if one little thing goes wrong,
if
we're going to hear about it in the paper.
In the news,
yeah.
Might I remind you that it's flooded down there before?
That leads me to my first topic here. I was listening to the Bizarre States podcast. I've done this before.
It's a
mentioned
good podcast.
Bizarre States podcast here. And they told me, or they reported on a local company contemplating a move because of an increase in crime. By local, I mean Albuquerque.
Not surprising, guys.
At least one thief made off with a van that was doing the report in downtown. And to reiterate more clearly, I think it was KOB.
Yes.
KOB news station was doing a report in downtown on crime and theft, and then
Yeah.
while they were setting up for that, they got their van stolen.
Go
Yeah.
figure, guys.
The irony is like
It is-
it can't be anymore.
Yeah, it is like the most Albuquerque thing to have happened.
Right.
Um,
Guys, I don't know if you know, but our bikes got stolen from our front porch while we were in the house.
during
Filming.
the first day
The
of Color
board game
Circuit.
marathon,
First
the
day.
tabletop
That-
marathon
The
day.
first
That's how
day
you
of
kick it
Color
off.
Circuit, these two got their bikes stolen.
Uh-huh. They
had
were
a
chained.
They had a tandem bike, like a couple of French youngsters, and it
A
got
unicycle.
stolen. So if you see a jackass riding a tandem bike around Albuquerque, it's
Wasn't
these-
tandem.
It wasn't tandem. It was just two bikes.
God damn it! I want that to happen.
Wanted to have been
However-
done.
So bad.
My bike had a Hello Kitty bell on it, which I'm sure that they removed so that it would be inconspicuous. Bastards.
Right. Yeah.
I want my Hello Kitty bell back.
My buddy was bored one day. This guy from Rancho, city just outside of LA. He was bored one day and he's like, "Man, I really want a tandem bike. Like, let's just find something to do." So he
Yeah.
went to the store, bought a tandem bike, and then him and his friend rode the tandem bike all day. That was their day. That kind of
Sounds lovely.
spontaneity,
Yeah,
is amazing. Like, that's what I want
Yeah.
out of life.
I
is to be
only
able
want to
to
do that if we can eat a baguette as we're riding the tandem bike. Like,
in between.
Yep.
Like
right,
yeah, you're holding it. Like front guy's holding it.
right,
Back guy's holding it, and they're just
right.
Can't get over this
nom.
little like drip of soda on Jessica's lip
I got it. I
that
felt
she can't feel.
I felt it. I felt it.
This happens every once in a while. So for those of you that don't know, Jessica lives here as well as myself. And what I've noticed after many meals and things of that nature, she like has no sense, no nerves over here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So she'll like a baby will just have like food underneath, like on her chin.
So
Apparently, I don't feel things
Did
when
you-
I'm messy.
did you ever have feeling there? Was there like an accident?
No,
Was there like a
not that I'm
dental
aware
surgery
of.
that you just didn't rebound from?
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, the only dental surgery I've ever had was on my wisdom teeth.
Right.
I did go through oral surgery because all my wisdom teeth were impacted and it was really bad.
Yeah.
But that was it. And
Okay.
I mean,
Could you eat before that?
I think I'm just really unaware of myself.
Yeah, to put it lightly.
It's like when you bite your tongue, you're just like, oh, come on. Like
Uh-huh.
we've been together my whole life. Tongue.
Fucking
Could we
tongue.
not do this right now? I
Right.
was eating like every day, just chewing, and all of a sudden my tongue got involved. Like, God, I feel so stupid when that happens.
Yeah.
Bon
So do I.
Bolum in the Facebook comments says, "Gonna miss Jane." I forget that they know each other.
Yeah.
Bon
Yeah.
kind of knows everybody. He's very much a networker.
I'm going to miss her
Yeah.
too, but it's nice because she's moving to LA and my parents live there, so I'm going to go and see her.
Yeah, it was good to get
sometimes.
to know her. She's a delight.
Yeah, I met her literally once, and
Uh-huh.
she seemed like she knew me.
Yeah,
But it was like I was around people she knew, and I was also there, so it was like, oh, I probably know you, and we
Hi.
hugged. Yeah,
nice.
it was after the drunk show, so everyone was just like, the blue show.
Oh, the Blue
Oh,
Show.
yeah.
I still
Right.
have not been to a Blue Show, have I?
Were you there? Weren't you
You
there?
were there.
I was there. Well, I don't know. Oh yeah, somebody kept yelling out "dildo,"
Yeah.
and then Patrick was like, "Fine, I'll fucking it's
No,
a dildo.
that was
My
a
arm's
different
dildo."
show. That was a
the
different
most
show.
recent one, God, yeah, it was. Patrick was there. Was Patrick there?
I
No.
don't know.
Michael-
Patrick generally doesn't like to go to those.
Oh,
He doesn't,
Yeah.
and also he just had a baby, so I think
The
it
baby
might have
was
been
dragging.
I
around
think
that
I went to the
time.
most recent Blue show.
I could have swore you did, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But like Kevin was there, and yeah, it just seemed like a bunch of people. Like Tito was there. I think.
Uh-huh.
I'm sure I was.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Yeah,
I
it
know what
was
I'm talking
good. It
about.
was
Yeah,
a good
like
show.
you wouldn't know where you were. Like you hardly know. Like
He hardly knows when Scott's there ever.
I think I'm the blockage. Like if I'm there, he doesn't think it happened.
The
I'm sorry,
blockage.
Scott.
Well, yeah, like
Oh,
the
I
the
see.
whole play thing. Like that was the beginning of it, or when we started noticing it. And then like we go like, oh yeah, we were at the Blue Show, and you're like, I don't think I was there, and like I
I
knew
always
was there.
remember when Scott's there. Want to know why? Because I knew Scott before Dylan knew Scott.
That's
Yeah.
true. Yeah,
is true.
We go way backer than you and I go backer.
I'm just looking over my
Backwards.
messages. It was for a reason in particular, but just to read out Jessica's most recent message with no context. Quote, "That leak has been a pain in the butt. unquote.
Okay, context.
Wah, wah, wah.
We have a leak in our bathroom.
Nope, she has a
And-
leaky butt.
No, nope.
You know, that's
Nope. There has been a leak in our bathroom for several months that has progressively gotten worse because in Albuquerque we have these lovely things called swamp coolers that replace, refrigerated air, and they're terrible and they don't work that well. And ours happens to be really old and rusting through the bottom of it. And
I don't
so
think I've ever
it's leaking.
seen. I don't think I've ever seen a new swamp cooler.
Yeah.
They're all
They're
just like,
they're
You
old.
will next week. I
They're
think we're getting
old
ours
technology.
it'll
We're getting
also
ours
be old.
replaced.
Like
replaced. Yeah,
Right.
it'll be used. Yeah.
it'll like be 20 years old.
Just trust me, you don't want a swamp cooler. If you move here, make sure you get an air conditioner.
If you move anywhere, make sure you have an air conditioner.
Oh yeah, like actual the only time I had refrigerated air was down in Las Cruces. I had a nice little. Well, it wasn't nice. I had an apartment, and it had refrigerated air. It was just like this little box. Then I lived in a box, and it just cooled my box, and it was nice. Like I would have to turn it off. It was so cold.
That might
That is
be
a lovely feeling.
It is.
I've said this before. I think AC is my favorite invention.
Oh yeah.
Like if I had to remove everything from that I love in life, I think the one thing I would have to keep would be AC.
Well, it was
Because-
a revolutionary.
Well,
invention.
yeah, I'm trying to think of like level of importance of things. Like I could shit in a bucket. That doesn't bother me. And just get rid of it or whatever. I'm talking about like just basic necessities, I just feel like AC for me. Do you guys have, I know a lot of people say like trains are probably
Trains,
important. and
no,
they
no,
are.
no. Yeah, trains
Yeah,
very
microwaves.
important. That
Planes.
Yeah.
revolutionized communication stuff like that. But yeah, air conditioning made living
Tolerable.
everywhere
Yes.
possible. Like you could we started in as far as like colonists started on the east, and then we moved.
He
west.
says we because he's white.
Yeah, but whatever.
We
wait,
are-
wait,
we.
Us colonists.
us colonists. Yes. Miles Standish over here. No, but the more west we went, it was like, oh, it's getting hot.
Yep.
Ooh, you know what? I think
You
I'm
know
gonna
what?
stop.
Let's go back east.
Yeah, let's go back east a little bit more. Like
Mm-hmm.
they went to Arizona. They're like, woo, woo,
Right.
whatever this state is. We haven't named it yet, but woo. And then they went back, and then yeah,
It's
it
a
made
lot
it-
like Mexico, but newer.
but newer. Yeah. And then, but yeah, it made like living in Phoenix possible. Otherwise, you would die. Like people would just be dead. The
Well,
death
yeah.
toll. in
They had
Phoenix.
It's
record-breaking.
like
Yeah.
120 degrees in
yeah.
California today.
Really? No.
Yes.
Not 120.
Yes.
Well,
in
if
the
you're talking
desert, in the
about-
high desert.
Yeah, yeah.
In the
Sure.
high desert, there are people posting, even in Rancho Cucamonga, where we're from, there are people posting that
You're
it's
saying high desert.
120.
What high desert?
Like Yucca Valley, like Apple Valley.
Is that high? I don't know that it's high.
Well, whatever. It's hot there, guys. It's 120 degrees.
Yeah,
That is
hot.
miserable. That is the only time I've ever been in 120 degrees was in Lake Tahoe, and that was miserable. So miserable. I would do almost anything to not be there. So, yeah, not fun. Not fun. Blech. 120.
To go back to what were we talking about? We're talking about getting our bikes stolen. When I visited home recently, I was telling my family how dangerous it is to live in Albuquerque, and I realized that I could go on for hours as to everything that I've heard since I've moved here regarding police, regarding
Theft.
yeah, especially car
gangs,
theft, like highest in the
drugs.
country.
It's highest in the country. Yeah.
I think next to some place in Washington or something. No, or Bakersfield. I don't know. I don't know. But
We're
yeah, somebody
number one.
We're yeah. Number one.
And guys,
Yeah.
there's got to be some sort of a correlation. We are one of, if not the poorest state in the country, and that really sucks. It sucks to be poor. If I was really poor, I would do anything to not be really poor because you need to survive. So it makes sense.
I would steal vehicles.
I would do whatever I need to
I would
do.
rob.
Yeah.
Hey, wait.
Yeah.
Let's make the quote now with the meme of Jessica's face. It sucks to be poor. I would hate to be poor.
Hey. Stop.
It was enlightening. I just got to tell you.
I help poor people. So
I know. I know. I grew up poor, so I totally agree. I'm 100% with you.
yeah.
And now he owns his own streaming channel.
Woo! Studio.
Studio, look at this place.
Speaking of the studio, I have statistics for the circuit board.
How long have we been doing this? Like 2 months, 3 months, 2.5 months?
9 weeks.
9 weeks.
We're on our 10th week, I think.
Okay.
We've done 9 shows, more or less. Controller Alt Delete is a video game show. We Dust and Few role-playing show. Ludum Tempest, a tabletop game show. Circuit Board, which is this show. And Rough Draft Theater, we're doing our 2nd show this upcoming Sunday. Tinder Swap, we did one of those. We'll see how far that one goes. The hijack each other's Tinder.
Yeah.
Improv Dynasty, which is the improv group. We did that, and then we did Megaprov, which is kind of a mixture. Slut Monkey, the improv podcast, and then Improvised Stand-Up, which is kind of part of the improv day. But I want to continue with that because I think that was really fun.
Yeah.
And it turned out it looks good, and
It was.
Rusty emailed me recently and said, I'm going to mix in the audio that he originally intended it to sound like, and then so it's going to be like a little bit of higher production by the end of the week or something. So I'm
Cool.
excited for
Very
that.
cool.
That'll be really cool. Watch some more some Rusta rhymes. So we started June 25th with the improv marathon. We've since then had another marathon, which was the
No, first one was tabletop.
Tabletop, then it was improv.
Sorry, yes. Then we had tabletop. That was on April 29th was tabletop.
No.
June 25th was improv.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've
Correct.
done over 30 episodes of shows so far.
Yeah.
That includes 5 pre-records or so.
It's a lot
We
of
have
shows.
around 20,000 views. I remember 2 or 3 circuit boards ago, I said I was excited because we hit 10,000. So
Wow.
we've doubled.
Good. Yeah.
Over 50 hours of content, over 35 guests. On average, we have over 600 views
That's good.
per
great.
video.
Yeah.
On median, it's 500.
Okay.
So that's like more common. So the average would have been the Outliers, which is like our video game podcasts, or I'm sorry, video game shows. And then the low ones are the circuit board ones.
Awesome.
Because, who's watching this?
Aw.
25 YouTube followers, 25 Twitch followers, 150 followers on Instagram, 72 on Twitter, 280 on Facebook, 300 today for Facebook followers.
Awesome.
Over 250 viewing hours. So, people have watched this a cumulative amount of 250 hours,
Okay.
which is a lot. How many days is that?
It's a lot.
That's 24. It's over 10 days.
Wow.
Yeah. And we've talked to several game developers and distributors. And so, I was just excited. I was like, hey,
Yeah.
I wonder what our stats are at. And
Yeah, we've been doing this. I mean, a couple of weeks we haven't been doing it, but for the most part, we've been doing it for a while, and it's nice to look back and be like, we've done a lot.
We've done some stuff,
accomplished things. Our marathons, which seem very daunting, and a lot of moving parts, a lot of people. Those have been successes. Like people have showed up, they've enjoyed themselves. They've
that's
some
really
people have come
I
back.
just want people to enjoy themselves,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah, I mean, this whole thing is just a community we're trying to build that like similar things. We, know a lot of people that are into games and board games and comedy and all this stuff, and this is just like a nice hub where they can just spit off and do their own thing.
Yeah, and we were
agree.
talking about like things that we love, and you mentioned like games and comedy. Like if we had to be geeks or nerds about anything in particular, what would it be for you? I already know your answers, but for the listeners,
God.
what would you say you nerd out over most? You geek out over?
There are several things, but movies and fashion, probably.
Fashion, yeah.
Fashion
Yeah.
movies. For me, personally.
What's the most fashionable movie?
Pretty Woman, right?
Oh, well, there could be many answers, but I really think that that one movie with what's his name?
Tom Cruise,
Yeah,
Cocktail,
Don Cheadle.
Top Gun.
Zoolander, of course.
Yeah, that's all about fashion, right?
Yeah.
So Mad Men then would probably be the most fashionable
shows,
show. Yeah.
It's definitely amazing how great the time periods are. But for shows, I would say Sex and the City is definitely one of the best
For fashion.
shows for fashion
Okay.
that exists.
Mixing two of your favorite things, that type of media plus fashion.
Right.
What about for you, Scott?
My nerd thing?
Yeah. Or nerd things.
Like specific bands, and probably comedy.
Okay.
You know, just fans of stand-up, British humor, Monty Python, all that stuff. Yeah, like I'm a weird database of like Simpsons quotes and certain shows that I know by heart, and but probably like music and comedy.
You're like
Music
a
and
pop
comedy.
culture wizard, Scott.
You are.
I know a lot of like worthless stuff, which when I was on radio
So do
was
I.
very useful because you absorb just stuff all day.
Where do you are like a dictionary sometimes
Sometimes.
regarding those things. Where did you get most of that information? Was it from a place, or was it literally just accumulating all of it over time and like being
just
obsessed
like-
about one thing and then the next and then the next? Or?
Yeah, like I'm a ship going through the ocean, barnacles just like attached to me, and
Fact barnacles.
and like some things are so random, like they'll just attach and I'll never shake them. Like Art Garfunkel of Simon and Garfunkel fame. You know that he is a world-class free throw shooter.
What? I did not know
He
that.
has like entered free throw throwing contests.
Who?
Simon and Garfunkel, the
Yeah.
folk duo,
Duo,
from
yes.
the 60s, 70s, whatever. Art Garfunkel, the guy with the fro, he is a world-class free throw shooter.
Wow.
Like, he's really good at throwing free throws. And he also Forrest Gumped the country a few times. He walked across the country just on foot.
That should be a verb, definitely.
Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
Oh, I did that a lot. Yeah,
Holy
like,
crap.
yeah.
That guy is awesome.
But like, why would I know that? Why would anybody know that? I
don't know,
that,
but I like
and
it.
it's true. Like you can Wikipedia, you can Google it. It's true. But I just heard it somewhere, and I'll never forget it. It's one of those weird things.
On our Twitch, we have a comment from H. Chewing, I think it says from here. Hey guys, how's it going? Can you spit on the table and wipe it up with your fingers? Please?
That sounds like a fun fetish.
Yeah, what are your other fetishes,
It's a little
Chewing?
weird.
Spit on the
Alright.
table and what? Wipe it up or lick it up? What? I can't read it.
Wipe it up. So that, I mean, it's not as gross
I
as
mean,
licking it up.
I know
That
my
would be- yeah.
fingernails and fingers are beautiful. I know that,
Yeah,
but
that's
I'm
the
not
fetish.
I
gonna.
don't want to sully him with
Do you guys have a
Do
kind
that.
of like, so like mine, I like slowly realized
your
over
fetish.
a little bit,
Okay,
like a kind of
okay.
a sexual
It's
fetish.
not a
little bit.
fetish, guys. He doesn't use it, but sure.
Yeah, I don't use it,
on.
but I kind of like, I kind of like feet.
Interesting.
I really like a cute pair of feet.
like a good pair of feet. Yeah.
Good pair. Yeah, it could
Yeah.
even be a singular foot. Like you could have one gnarly foot.
But like if at least if
At
one
least
foot's
one
good,
of 'em.
It looks like we've got a
some more interaction.
troll.
Yeah. HC Chewing
Imagine that.
from Twitch says, fart in a box of cereal. One throw at a chicken tender. I'm assuming that means without swallowing. That always reminds me of Little Nicky.
I've never seen that.
You seen it?
No.
Neither of you have seen Little
It's
Nicky?
one of the only Adam Sandler movies I have not seen.
It is
Yeah.
it's a good one.
Okay.
It's it was before the drop off of
I've even seen
was
some
like
bad
right
ones that
up next
click.
to
it
the
was
drop
right
off,
up next to
though.
the drop off for
Right.
what we have
Yeah.
of the Adam
we
Sandler
have
we're
now.
currently with now, but he's the devil's son.
Right.
That's the
Yeah.
premise. He comes onto Earth and now he's learning how to be human.
Who plays the devil?
I can't remember, but it's somebody famous.
Mm-hmm.
But so he's the devil's son. He's on Earth now, and he's learning how to do human things because he's not a human, right?
And does hilarity ensue?
Hilarity ensues. A pug tells him how to eat, and he doesn't know how to eat because he's never had to eat.
Uh-huh.
And there's a scene where he's trying to swallow, or he's trying to eat chicken tenders, but he doesn't know how to chew. So he's like just like one throwing it. I'm assuming that's the
Yeah.
expression. Yeah, just like yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite parts.
Well, anything with a pug in it is I'm sold. So
You might have to check out Little Nicky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any more trolling from these wonderful people?
I don't know. Why doesn't the something...
Why don't you like his humor?
Why don't I like your humor? Probably because it reminds me of my boyfriend right here.
He gets enough.
Has very
get
similar
enough of that.
humor,
Yeah.
and I get that every
So you and
day,
I,
so
man. It's all
not,
us.
It's not that I don't like your humor. It's that I am really
You've
like
heard it.
it's old. it's old humor.
It's old
to me.
hat.
It's old hat right now.
It is old hat. Yes.
Going back to fetishes.
You got one, Scott?
I don't think so.
No?
I just like.
Then why would you go back to it?
Well, I just wanted to. I just want to put that out there.
Okay,
Because
okay.
we like. Well, you started it like with your feet thing,
Uh-huh.
or like a mild foot thing. It's not like gotta have me a foot.
Okay.
Like, for you, like I'm just saying, it's not like a.
That's very true. Yeah, I mean,
You
I
just notice.
I'll notice a good pair of feet.
Right.
I just and also it seems soft. You know, like the ridge, like the inner ridge.
Mm-hmm.
Let me show you. Like right here.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
It looks soft on
Uh-huh.
on people who have soft feet.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm not one of those people.
No, you wear sandals.
Well, that and when I was little, I used to. Scott, is that true? Do you like eggs?
What?
He says you like eggs.
Okay.
Anyway, moving on. When I was a kid, I used to never
So
listen
glad
to
we're
my
connected
mom,
on Twitch.
and I would never wear socks or shoes when I would go play outside. I would just be barefoot, and my mom would yell at me to go put socks and shoes on, and I wouldn't ever. And even when it was hot outside, I would like burn my feet.
Oh, like
and-
Huckleberry Finn.
Right. I was just like a little crazy hippie kid. I don't know. And then now my feet are all messed up. So it's like, well, maybe I should have listened to my mom.
No man will love my feet now.
Yeah. I mean, they're not bad feet, but they're just not like.
No,
They're pretty
you
bad
need a really good pumice to like.
to fix up what you got going on down there.
Right. That situation's not going away.
Start wearing some socks and shoes, man. I have really nice feet, and that's generally because
I have
wear
a
socks and
soft
shoes every
heart,
day.
but
so
callous
do you too,
feet.
right?
I have nice, feet.
Yeah, we're not
Nice-ish.
sandals. I think
Yeah,
it's the
I don't
sandals
do
and other
sandals.
things
Yeah.
that ruin the feet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So neither of you, nothing.
As far
nothing
as
that-
fetish,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm very meat and potatoes.
Okay.
Penis and a vagina.
You
I'm
like
good.
both of those.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Love that stuff.
I can tell you like a body part that I like on guys that I think a lot of women like. It's not really like a fetish. It's just like a thing that's nice to look at. It's sex lines, those lines on guys that like lead
Oh,
down to
going
their
down, and it
penis.
yeah, and the lines like are pointing
Uh-huh.
down to the.
I
Yeah.
love those.
Don't you call it the V?
the V?
The
Mhm.
V. Yeah.
You like that
Yeah.
part?
It's very nice.
It's
Mm-hmm.
usually
Enjoyable,
on the
what I would
sides
say.
and tapers down from like if somebody had like an 8-pack, the last tiny little packs
You don't
at
have
the
to be
bottom.
muscular to have it. I think most guys have them.
Most
But
guys,
yeah.
huh?
I think mine isn't defined well. It's in that area,
But
like
it's
the
there.
general area.
Oh, it's
But you
there.
have one.
yeah, yeah.
Doesn't matter who's
And
it on,
that's what
who's it's on.
counts,
So on the bottom of our page here, it says, "What's your favorite movie?"
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys have answers for that?
Ooh, one that it's up there because like we were talking about this pre-show. Like what is like a number one favorite movie? I mean maybe like Star Wars, but
Okay,
when you-
episode 4.
Four,
Yeah.
yeah, like 4's a solid movie. Like everyone says Empire.
That's my favorite Star Wars.
Uh,
Is number 4.
Like like Empire's a great movie, like plot wise, but yeah, 4 sets it up, and it's a great fun romp. But like, I really think like your number one favorite movie is the less interesting one, in a way, because it's all those other ones. Like, have you guys seen Clue?
No.
I know, I
Clue
need
is
to see
the
that.
Shit.
Yeah, I heard
like,
it's awesome.
It is so good. It's so funny. Madeline Kahn, Tim Curry,
Some comedy legends.
Michael McKean, Christopher Lloyd. Like, it is so fucking funny.
I want to
and
sit
good.
down and watch it. It's
is
and it's
great.
based off of a board game, which
Yeah.
is even crazier.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And I don't think that had ever happened. This was like the '80s, and
Or still hasn't happened since, right? I can't
Well,
think of a board game movie.
maybe not. Yeah,
There's no Monopoly movie. There's
No,
no
no.
Not
Catan,
really.
Settlers of Catan. That's Game
No.
of Thrones.
sure.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Yeah, and Clue had a very interesting. Like, if you see it now, if you like rent it or buy it, it has like 3 different endings. But what they did back in the day is different theaters would get movies with separate endings. So, like how a game of Clue ends with like Mr. Green in the library with the lead pipe. That's like they had 3 or 4 separate endings for the movie, so you didn't know which ending you would get.
Oh, that's cool.
It was kind of lost in the because the movie didn't do well, so not many people noticed. Oh wow, my friend Todd saw a different ending than I did, because not that many people saw it in the theaters.
Right.
It really had a rebirth, a longer life in like the rental market.
So
I never
it
saw
has
it in the
alternate endings, is what you're saying.
Yeah, so you
That's
watch the
cool.
movie and it has like 3 different endings, and then there's like and then it's like, this is how it really happened, and then they show like
That's like the
final
Goosebumps Pick
ending.
Your Adventure books. I used to love those.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah,
choose
those
your
are
own
fun.
adventures. Yeah, and you'd like dog ear the page, just
Which
in
is an
case.
improv game also. Really fun one.
What's
Choose
your
it.
favorite movie, Jess?
Oh, I have so many. I love movies, but I think I tend to really, really love 80s movies. And 2 of my favorites are The Goonies, definitely, and 16 Candles.
You do love you some 16 Candles.
I do.
And Clueless,
Clueless is also up there.
Yeah.
which is a 90s film.
Clueless is 90s.
Definitely 90s.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, and that's one of the ways that Jess and I bonded was our love for the Goonies.
Goonies.
Yeah,
mhm.
yeah,
And we
definitely.
actually went to
Astoria.
Astoria, Oregon, a couple, I don't know.
It was in September of
years
last
ago?
year.
Last year. Oh my
Oh,
God.
okay.
Did you say 3 years
I
ago?
said a couple.
Oh.
I guess it seemed like a longer time ago
Not even
than
a year.
it actually was.
10 months ago, where they filmed most of it. And it's
Yeah.
a cute little town. Everybody
Mm-hmm.
there was super cool.
Mhm.
I mean, it's tiny. I think it's 10,000 people.
But it's like right on the ocean, right?
Yeah,
yeah,
and it's
yeah.
like, oh my God, it's so beautiful there.
I just got a
Yeah.
pin that it's of Chunk, and his stomach is on a little spring, so you can like flick
Nice.
it, and it says "Never say diet." Yeah, it's
That's
cute.
great.
I collect pins.
Truffle shuffle all the way. Vaughn says Almost Famous is his favorite movie.
I've never seen that one. Is
It's
that the
a
one with
really
the
good
girl?
movie,
It's a
Vaughn.
great one.
She has the glasses on the cover.
Right.
Oh, I'm thinking of Dazed and Confused.
No,
No?
that's Almost Famous.
Okay.
That was
Uh-huh.
Kate. Right? What's her name?
Kate
Yeah, who
Hudson.
is
Kate
it?
Hudson. Yes, Kate Hudson.
Yep.
Goldie Hawn's daughter.
H.
Yep.
Chewing, if you're still in there, what's your favorite movie?
Yeah.
Also, my other favorite would be an 80s film, and it would be The Gremlins. Is it? No, it's called
Interesting.
Gremlins, not The Gremlins.
Gremlins.
Gremlins,
Mhm.
and then Gremlins 2, the new batch.
Gremlins to the New Batch. That's a good
Yeah.
one. I haven't seen that one a lot, but I
Yeah.
want to rewatch it because I know it's ridiculous.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But
Don't they kill like Leonard Maltin in it or something?
I don't even
think
remember.
there's a thing I heard because like Leonard Maltin panned Gremlins, like the original.
Okay.
So I think they did a thing where he was like murdered in the second movie or something.
Really?
I think so.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'll have to. Yeah, I heard that somewhere.
I remember the really meta part where they're like watching the movie in the movie
Yeah,
theater.
yeah,
Yeah. That was pretty funny. I don't know what it is like. Also, like I never say this is like my favorite, but I really like Home Alone. Like I like those kind of Christmas feel movies. I don't know why. I'm not even like a Christmas kind of person,
Sure.
but there's like
I-
there's a warmth to it.
Yep.
The Santa Claus, I love that movie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Such a good movie. I'm obsessed with Elf, as are most girls in the world. But
I
yeah,
love
Elf is
Elf too.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
Yeah, it's a good
Anchorman. I love Anchorman.
Ah, the Christmas film.
Classic.
Anchorman.
It's not Christmas, but it's Will Ferrell and it's classic.
Yeah.
Favorite
Yeah,
TV
very
shows.
Favorite TV shows.
Battlestar
be-
Galactica, probably.
Battlestar Gal- Yeah, yours and I,
Interesting.
we're a lot in the same in that. I think
Uh-huh.
mine would also have to be Battlestar Galactica.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So the rebooted one with
Yes.
Edward James
2000s.
Olmos.
Edward James
Correct.
Olmos. Yeah,
Mhm.
which was
Who is actually from somewhere here.
Yeah.
Edward James
yeah,
Olmos is from New Mexico.
Sounds about right.
I guess
Yeah.
relative to the original, which I never watched the original. The original focused more on his son,
Mm.
and the reboot focuses more on General Adama.
Right.
Yeah.
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 And then Starbug was a guy in
Right.
the original.
Yeah, that was a big change that
Yeah.
apparently pissed off a lot
And
of
then
people.
he's the
Right.
guy who plays God, what is his name? The
Who played who?
the guy who played Starbuck in the original
Oh yeah.
is
Oh yeah. He was.
he's like the
He was
the
a
lawyers or like politicians in the new one.
my sister, that was one of the shows my sister got really into, the new Battlestar Galactica, so
Right.
she made me watch it. And I didn't hate it, but I was kind of like kind of pushed to, like, my sister would buy me the DVDs. And
That's how
for me to
important it
watch
is, yeah.
like she really was into it, and I watched it, and it definitely got better for me. And then like I caught up, and then so like the last 2 seasons or something I saw it live, and I got into it, so I have a good working knowledge of Battlestar Galactica.
My brother thinks it's the that show tells us the meaning of life.
Oh,
Because at the end of no spoilers.
Yeah,
at
It's
the
a
end
good
of it,
show.
it kind of,
it gets ethereal and kind
does.
of
It does
yeah.
get a little.
The guy that you were
Weird at the
talking
end.
about, he was actually,
He passed away, right?
he just passed away
Yeah.
He
recently.
just died recently, yeah.
But in the show though, he was like an anti-government person.
Right.
And then he ended up being the people's choice later
When they
on.
elected
when they
Right.
elected him
new
for
president
some,
or
yeah,
something.
for some,
Yeah.
some
Right.
position. I can't
So
remember.
yeah, it's
been
a
a
really
while.
good show. I have a lot of other ones that I like, but like ones that are commonly
you keep
people's
on going
favorites.
back to.
Like Friends is one of my favorites all
Mhm.
time. The Office, the American Office,
Mhm.
and then of course like Mad Men, Game of Thrones, Walking Dead, Breaking Bad, all those kinds of shows. Dexter,
Mhm.
Hannibal,
Mhm.
yeah.
What about you, Scott? Oh, H Tuning from Twitch says Equilibrium. I've never seen that.
I've never seen it, but
What-
I've
what
heard
movie
it's
is
really
that?
good. It's
know.
it's on a lot. From what I recall, it is on like a bunch of lists of
Like
top sci-fi movies.
Mm.
Oh,
Equilibrium.
Yeah,
Never heard of
so
it.
I
I've
can't
heard
remember.
good things about it. I've never seen it, but I would like to. Yeah.
Make sure to like and subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, and
Mhm.
Twitch. Thank you.
all those things, all the verbs.
All the verbs.
All the verbs.
TV show, probably Simpsons.
Mm-hmm.
Probably. I definitely had a Friends phase.
Mm-hmm.
I got out of it though. I forget where I dropped off, but it just.
You didn't watch All of Friends, huh?
I didn't watch all of Friends.
You're like
'cause,
one of the few people I know
some-
now that hasn't watched all
Some
of it.
of it is new to me,
Okay.
frankly. I forget where I, like, what season did like Monica and Chandler start to?
That
like,
was like 4 or 5. I
Yeah,
think.
it was not. It was more towards the middle. It wasn't like late.
okay,
Mm.
and then
And
I
there's
remember.
some really good episodes, like with Paul Rudd later on.
Right, yeah, I totally
Yeah.
didn't wasn't watching at that time. I forget where I dropped off. But yeah, definitely that was one of the shows that my family tape recorded, like Friends, Home Improvement, The Cosby Show, Simpsons, Alf.
Alf was a good show.
Fucking Alf.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And if we were just bored, because we didn't have cable. We didn't have cable growing up.
Right.
Not until I was in high school did we have cable. And so we would just like Saturday, whatever, after cartoons, be like, put in the Simpsons tape or whatever. And so we would just like, maybe that was part of it too. Like we just regurgitated a lot of the similar things.
Right.
So there are things like that my sister and I can joke about that we just know off. Like there are commercials that we taped along with like an old 80s Cosby Show episode that we can recite like verbatim to each other. Stuff like that.
Watching the taped commercials. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
The
I
best
remember those.
Have you guys ever seen the Star Wars holiday special? The
No.
infamous?
the
the
one
thing
with
that-
the Ewoks? No, sadly, no.
No, it was the Wookiees.
Oh,
um,
Wookiees, damn it.
But no, it was something that George Lucas has sworn he wants like wiped off the face of the earth.
Right.
It was in between the first and second movies. They didn't know. They thought this first Star Wars movie was a fluke. They're like, let's milk as much attention and money out of this as possible. So after the first movie was a huge success, they had a holiday special, and it was Han Solo, and it included everyone. Like everyone from the cast had a cameo.
Wow.
It involved Han Solo trying to get Chewbacca home to his family on his home planet of Kashyyyk
That's sweet.
for Life Day, which is a made-up Wookiee holiday And so you can, like, I got it on eBay, and it was just like a burnt copy. But the coolest part about it, and it's crap. It's like 4 hours, and they like
4 hours.
Well,
God, that's long.
It's long. It's maybe like 3,
Jesus.
but still, fuck.
Yeah.
Too
Jeez,
long
man.
for that.
And
I
like,
mean, geez.
and it like B. Arthur's in there, and she plays like the bar maiden at the bar where the she plays that bar maiden.
cantina.
Like
Yeah.
at the end of it, Carrie Fisher sings a Life Day song to the theme of Star Wars. It's bizarre shit.
Oh my God.
But the best part is that it includes the commercials of that time period. So like late 70s.
Okay.
CBS, I think, was the network
Awesome.
that aired it. So you get like the old Sunday night on the Fall Guy. He falls again, or whatever.
Right.
I forget what the Fall Guy was about. But yeah, like that. It's really fun to watch. Like, do it once. You never have to see it again. It's not.
Right.
It's crap. Like Jefferson Starship plays on it. Not even Airplane. Starship.
Is there any action in it?
Not well. Stormtroopers come in for a little while, but it's all on like a TV set. It's not like It's not cinematic.
It's
you can
not
see
like
the
the
budget
Ewok
difference.
movies,
Yes.
guys. The Ewok movies are legit.
Oh yeah, the one where that family like crashes into the Ewok
Right.
planet and then they befriend them. I remember
Right.
that. Yeah,
It's a good one. I like it.
the
It
Ewok
sounds
Adventure.
cute.
But
yeah.
it is cute. It's very cute, is what I would call it, and it's has some pretty scary like monster things in it, and Wicket's in it. And I
Yeah.
love Wicket, so it's great.
You know what I noticed? You're very good at like looking into camera. You're better than all of us, and we've been doing this more often.
I have been performing for many years, but not usually to a camera, but stage. So I guess that sort of.
It's impressive. Scott, you have a story that you have been holding on to for a little while.
Oh, that's right.
And I've been wanting to hear
Scientology
all
story.
about this.
Well, yeah. When you went to Los Angeles, I was like, well, that really trumps my Los Angeles story.
Wait,
No,
Well, no, because like the story, I mean, it was really cool how
No.
yours happened. So yeah, well, yeah, maybe a month ago. Yeah, just about a month ago, I went out to Los Angeles with a friend, and we went to a pin expo.
PIN, pin.
Pin, like a lapel pin.
like here's a pin.
Yeah, and it's kind of a thing we both nerd out about. And it was like a one day only in Los Angeles thing. We have to go, So we went, and we kind of just had this whirlwind day in Los Angeles. We did the Pin Expo. We went to this Museum of Death because we're both like into like true crime and serial killers and stuff like that. And
So
that was fun.
fascinating.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
sounds
I've
always
so
wanted to go to that
fascinating.
museum.
It's neat. Like it opens up into a room of like artwork done by serial killers. So you got your John Wayne Gacy paintings.
Oh my
like,
God.
And like correspondence like people had with like Ted Bundy
Bundy?
and stuff like that. Really, really interesting stuff.
I
And
always
then-
mix up Ted Bundy with
Al Bundy?
Al Bundy.
Yeah, Ted Bundy is that
They're
serial
not
killer
the
that
same,
that
guys.
sold
Don't mix
shoes
them up.
to women, and he was always like telling them how they're fat.
Yeah, he seems like a
They
nice
were
guy.
both
Ted
real
Bundy.
bad to women.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's their
True that.
common thread.
One was attractive, the other was no. But yeah, and then like there's this room where they had like a Manson room where they had like one of the Manson family's like swastika quilts. It was
my
like really
God.
like obscure stuff, and they had a Heaven's Gate room where they had like a old video that I guess Sergeant Applewhite, the founder of Heaven's Gate, the
Right.
cult. It was cool stuff.
Heaven's Gate is the Kool-Aid cult, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Right?
I think that's more the Waco. The Heaven's Gate ones were like the ones they wore like tracksuits and Nikes. They
Oh, yeah,
castrated
yeah,
each
yeah.
other.
Yeah, yeah.
That was part of it, and then it was all associated with the meteor Hale-Bopp, which was
Right.
coming towards Earth. And this guy, the cult leader, was telling them, "That's our ship. That's the mothership, and we all have to kill ourselves." It was a mass suicide.
Yeah.
Right.
So there's like these famous photos of like people in bunk beds dead, and they're all like wearing Nikes, because that was like part of their uniform. It was like very strict, like blue tracksuits and like Nikes.
That's fascinating.
And yes, a lot of stuff like that. But we're also like into cults and stuff. So I signed up to have a chunk of time at the Scientology Center. Now,
Just you?
No, myself and my friend.
Okay, and you can sign up like together.
Well, yeah, I was like, I'll sign up, and I was like, I will have a friend with me.
Got it.
And-
So you sign up online, or
Yeah, you
okay.
can go to Scientology.org,
Nice.
and they're like, hey, come and it's like an open house sort of thing.
Okay.
And I thought, because one of the last times I was in Los Angeles, we were going down Hollywood Boulevard or whatever, and there was a new Scientology like information place
Okay.
that they had opened up to get, because that's a huge tourist area, and they were trying to be like, hey, come say Scientology.
It's right off Sunset, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we walked by, and the next girlfriend at the time, I was like, this might be funny. She's like, no, we're not going to that. But so I thought we were going there. But, I put it in the GPS and everything, and then it's like, turn right on L. Ron Hubbard Boulevard.
L.
You
Ron
turn
Hubbard
on
Boulevard.
this red brick road, and it's if you ever see any Scientology documentary like Going Clear or something, it's the building, the big blue building that says Scientology on it, that they
Okay.
like do a crane shot over, like the swooping helicopter
That's
shot.
the building. That is
Yeah.
their
And
okay.
that's
Wow.
where we went.
Okay.
And it was like leading up to that part, we're just like, this fucking Scientology's cult leaves.
yeah.
And then you get there, and it's like, it's
They got
real.
money.
It's real.
They have
and
money,
they're
yeah.
walking around, and they're like, these people believe this shit. Oh my god.
Oh yeah,
And
a lot of celebrities believing
I couldn't
that
hear you.
stuff.
What did you whisper?
well, these people believe this shit.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
they're like
They
the true
actually believe
dyed
this.
in the wool believers
Yeah,
of
yeah,
it.
yeah.
And it got intimidating. Like, we walked in, and it's this big lobby area full of like little kiosks of like videos, like different like video stations to like learn about Scientology. And we get like escorted to the front of the building. I guess we went on to the side, but and then this nice girl, it's like, okay, well, sign in, and we give like fake information.
Was it a purposefully placed woman? And by that I mean, like, did they find like the cutest girl on Sunset Strip to man the front desk?
Oh, I mean, they look. They were like nice looking. They weren't like hot or.
Okay, yeah. I was like, yeah. Did they get like a
And this wasn't the Sunset Strip place. This was like wherever it was.
L. Ron Hubbard Boulevard?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
But it's near.
It's not far from.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. But.
I was just wondering how much manipulation they're going for.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. No, I mean everyone looked nice.
Yeah.
And the uniform was kind of like a flight attendant on a spaceship, sort of.
Really? And you
uniform.
think it was a required uniform?
Oh yeah, like everyone was. You could tell who. worked
Okay.
there. It's just like a cast member at Disneyland. It's just
Right.
that's their getup. Like,
Interesting.
I work in Frontierland. Look at my spats or whatever.
Right.
You wouldn't wear spats anyway. But so we get escorted to like a kiosk, and it's like the introduction to who L. Ron Hubbard is kiosk, and you just get to get a little history lesson. And she sets us down. She's like, all right, watch this, and just enjoy and watch videos, and great. And she leaves us alone.
It's a kiosk that has like a little video.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
a little
like
screen.
and like a menu. You can choose different videos, that sort of thing. And that's basically what this lobby is. It's like a lot. There are like maybe 15 of
Kiosks.
these places. And it breaks it down to like, what is Scientology? How to apply Scientology in your life? The history of the
what
church
is it?
and all that.
What is Scientology?
Well, I mean, it's like an alternative to what they say, an alternative to like modern psychology. Because if you see any interview with L. Ron Hubbard or Tom Cruise, or there's a famous Tom Cruise interview where he's like yelling at Matt Lauer about what he doesn't know about psychiatry and how corrupt psychiatry is. Like, they are against that way to mental health.
Really?
So Scientology is another way to unlock the mysteries of the brain. As far
I did
as they're
not know
concerned.
that.
So, and like we're watching this L. Ron Hubbard, the man, history video,
The
and,
mystery.
and it's all bullshit. Like, I mean, that's the thing. Like, he was a man in a modern world with like records anyone can look up.
He was bestowed upon tablets right from God in or am I thinking of Mormonism?
John Smith. You're thinking of the founder of the Mormon Church.
Mormonism. Okay.
Which is another modern
It's also another
religion.
newer
Yeah.
religion, yeah.
And often I'm in like a whole broad spectrum of religion. Sometimes I think the only difference between Scientology and Christianity is time.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Christianity was made thousands of years ago.
Yeah, cults
and
plus time equals religion.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, really, just give it a while.
Yeah, it'll be just as awesome.
And
as
if you want to
as
create your own
Judaism.
religion, you can do it.
Yeah.
Start now.
Start
Call
now.
1-800.
Pay me $5 and I'll tell you. But yeah. So L. Ron Hubbard was a man that existed, and he was in the military. So we have like military records, and there's what his actual military record was. And then there's what the Scientologists believe L. Ron Hubbard's military record was, and
What's the significance of the military?
well, they propped it up as like that's how he he was able to travel the world and experience other cultures and garner knowledge from their knowledge base to make his own vision of mental health and how to be a better person.
Did you know that Scientology is based off mental health?
I didn't.
I didn't either.
Well, and so they
The only way I knew that was because most of the people who are celebrities that are Scientologists, I think, are crazy
well, I mean, it's
and
crazy.
could use some psychiatry.
yeah, probably.
But so we that's when Cheryl
The lovely kiosk person.
no this is a new person.
Oh.
Like we kind of saw her walking around, and I consider her the closer. Like
She's like walking into walls. She's like a robot.
But no, like she's more the hard line. I'm going to get you to pay money for this shit.
Got it.
We've invited you into our home. What's the deal?
Sure.
So she comes in and she's more direct questions like, what would you like to get out of this? And this is where my improv training comes in.
It kicked in.
And yeah, because
Yeah, that's a very like put you on the spot thing.
yeah, because we like I didn't tell my family I was going to do this.
Would they be upset?
I didn't want to find out. But my friend did, and her family was like, I forbid you, I forbode you, or whatever. So, because, yeah, like, it is well known that they, like seek out people and they harass people and whatever. So, like, they're a serious organization that does this stuff.
Yeah.
But we're just like, we're going to go and be jackasses to him. Whatever. We're going to go spit in the cobra's mouth. See what happens. So Cheryl, she starts to really kind of be like, all right, so what do you want to get out of this? And I'm just like, well, I was raised Catholic and, I'm not really Catholic anymore. And which is so far true.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Where does the lie happen?
well, actually, I didn't really.
Okay.
But I think the improv part of it was just like keeping the conversation going.
Got it.
That sort of thing. Yes, anding her, whatever.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, well, I'm just kind of curious. Well, we're visiting. We're not from here, but we're visiting in town, and we wanted to find out more about you guys, kind of keep it general, and like what you guys are about, because I know I'm basing a lot of this off of my Christian beliefs. And so that's what is ingrained in me. And like, what do you guys have that, So she led us to another kiosk. And it was like,
There's one for ex-Christians, one for ex-Muslims, one for ex... Oh, you need the Christian
right.
kiosk.
Ah, yes, over here. A water and wine corner. So we watch how to instill Scientology beliefs in your modern day. And it's this really weird video of, I was half paying attention, but it was basically a video of a guy getting frustrated with like his girlfriend or whatever. And there's like a voiceover, but you can see the guy just get like, like angry at his his girlfriend, and then they like, and then basically the narration is like, learn how to circumvent people with negative energies and use it against them. Like basically like
Manipulate.
easy
Control?
mind control stuff. Like this is one of the tricks you can use if you become a Scientologist. So
Oh, we get to learn Jedi mind tricks.
pretty much that's kind of the thing that gets
I'd rather be a Jedi.
it gets like people interested and be like, well, I'm a kind of a mental weakling. Like I want to, and so
Just as a quick spin-off, I think in the UK, like last year, the year before, was like a record-breaking number of people that are part of the Jedi Order for their religious outlook.
thing.
Like
Oh,
they
it's
actually
real.
like fill in the box, you know?
in a census sort of thing.
somewhere around in the thousands or something.
Part of it is
Yeah.
learning how to fight with a lightsaber, and
Yeah.
it's legit. But anyway,
do and do not. There's no
Scientology,
try.
man, mind control.
Yeah. And so she leaves us alone for a bit, and this is when we kind of get like she kind of spooked us a little bit.
Ooh, I'm so excited.
'cause-
She actually puts on a mask and tried to scare you.
Well, no, she just used herself. And so we watched this thing for a little bit, and then we're like, okay, we can go. We've done it. We
worn
can
out
say
our
we've done
welcome
this. And it wasn't like busy, so it's not like we could be lost in the crowd or anything. There was like maybe one other person we saw that was watching movies or little information things, and so she was like honing in on us. And so we kind of get ready to leave, and we're like, it was close to 5, so we're like, okay, let's say we have like dinner reservations that we got to go. So Cheryl stops us, and she's like, so did you like the movie and everything? And it's like, oh yeah, but yeah, we have to go, you know, trying to like lead to the door, that sort of thing. And or maybe no, before that she was like talking to us like, what you know, what did you like about that movie or whatever? And I was like, well, because that was one of the video we saw. It described what a Thetan was. Basically, it's their word for soul.
Okay.
We're all Thetans, and we have bodies, which is not an uncommon thought. I've heard people say, you know, you're not a body with a soul, you're a soul that has a body, that sort of thing.
Got it.
It's just the same thing that they
Yeah.
put in Thetan. And that's part of the things that Scientology does. They have their entire own
Vernacular.
vocabulary, yeah.
Got it.
Words that they use specifically for everything that they do. And
Yeah, I just had a conversation today with this girl that I think was raised Hindu. I'm not entirely sure, or maybe Buddhist, but she's from India, and she was talking about how she believes in karma. That
Mhm.
wasn't the word she. Yeah, I think karma.
Mhm.
And
That's Hindu. I think.
okay. And
Actually,
then she's
Buddhist
like,
too,
yeah, but she's like, yeah, that's just another name. She's like, all religions kind of have the same thing. That's just worded differently. And it made me think, yeah,
Right.
you're absolutely right. Yeah.
Yeah.
they all-
Golden
yeah.
rule in Christianity and
sure,
so on and so forth.
yeah. And so Scientology not different from that. And so she was like pressing me like, what things in your life do you need help with? So like, well, we don't have time for this, lady. But no, I made up something like, oh, well, because in the video, like the guy was frustrated with like people at work. And so I was like, oh yeah, well, you know, sometimes I don't assert myself with people that frustrate me in like my job. And she was like, okay, well, we have ways of helping you with something like that. What you guys need to do is take our personality test. And of course there's a book that goes along with whatever problem I had, and she just like grabbed it and be like, all right, so this is it's $16.
What did it say? What was the
Oh
title?
yeah, I forget what the book was.
How to be assertive or something?
Something like that, or it's like some giant Scientology word, and then like the art of being assertive.
Okay.
And so she's like, you know, this book will really help you on your way. It's about $16, and I was like, I'm not watching. I'm not paying any money.
Yeah.
They already have my email address technically. But then she was like, well, that's when we were like, oh, well, we have, we also, my friend and I, we had a safe word.
A safe word. You guys decided on a word before.
Yeah, because we were like, okay, if
I hope it was super obvious, like a Sasquatch,
Well-
and then you guys run out.
Well, we're both Portlandia fans, so it was cacao. There's a bit where like that was a couple safe words like cacao. So like, no, cacao. So we actually didn't use the safe word, but just in case, like we sensed the other one like turning, like, hey, this has some-
Turning? What do you mean turning?
hey, they got some really good ideas. I think I'm gonna stay. Cacao, and like run him out the door. We didn't know what was gonna happen.
Was it a genuine worry?
Yeah, like
I'd be like, we have reservations at Cacao.
exactly, because we know, well, like
You know how manipulated.
we're nerdy about them, so it's like we're kind of on edge about the whole thing, but we wanted to see like, hey, let's see what happens.
Wow.
So, so that's when we were trying to be like, oh well, we can't really do anything right now. We have dinner reservations, and then Cheryl was like, well, what's the name of the restaurant?
she asked you.
Yeah, like I could tell she knew we were fucking with her.
Right.
Like it was this unspoken thing.
Sure.
And we're just like, okay, well, like,
Cheryl,
are they locking the
mind
door?
fucked ya.
She was ready.
Are they? Yeah, and I'm sure they get it all the time.
Yeah.
Like they know who they are.
Mhm.
Come on.
Yeah.
They know they're Scientologists. They know the rest of the world
They know.
knows they're batshit. Anyway, and they're just trying to do their thing. Whatever.
Sure.
So we were like, oh God, I can't remember the name of the restaurant. My friend was
Both
like,
of you.
oh, I think it's like Mexican. Yeah, fuck. And after the fact, we were like, oh, we should have said we're meeting our friends who live here, who know the restaurant.
Your improv really didn't kick in.
It didn't kick in as much as I wanted it to, because I don't know. Like, when you're doing a goofy show downtown, you're not really pressed by a cult. Like,
Yeah,
it's
that's
a
true.
live or die situation. So she's like, all right, well, let me go and grab you the personality test. It'll take a second. So she leaves and she comes back with they're pamphlets. They don't cost anything.
Got it.
So go to dinner, look over the questions, and then come back. And then we can take it from there. And then she was like trying to sell us on the personality test, like taking it there. It's like, it's only 2 hours and it
Only.
costs $60.
Oh, heck
Yeah.
no.
And so she was like, and she was just like blowing it off like, it's only 2 hours and it costs $60.
Right. Well, if she minimizes it, maybe.
Right. Yeah. And I'm like, no fucking way.
Yeah.
So and then I do the thing like, how late are you open? Like, we're like,
Well, I'll be back later.
yeah, like, well, yeah, it's like, we're gonna go eat dinner, but how late are you open? Like, we're open till 10. And what was your name? Cheryl. So I tried to do the whole like, okay, making a connection.
You were closing the deal.
Yeah, closing the deal just
All
to
right,
get us the
Cheryl,
fuck out
we'll
of the
be
door.
back.
And so we got out of there, and then we took some photos in front of the Scientology Center to be like, what the fuck we're doing? And like, and that's like their campus. Like if you like think of like a small college or something like that, like there were people out having lunch, and you could see people dressed in the Scientology garb with like clipboards with a person, and they were like, you know, talking to them and like doing like exercises. So they were like actively, you know, switching people and teaching them or whatever. And so we hung out there a little bit after we left the actual building, and then we got the hell out of there. And it was kind of like all right, like we did it. It was a very interesting story. We made it out alive.
Wow.
But yeah, just when you know, we didn't go see the Hollywood sign or go down the Walk of Fame and see something. We went to the Scientology Center. That's what, at a death museum. That's what we
That's
do
how
when
you
we go
decided
to.
to spend
yeah.
your
Sounds
day.
great.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
In
That's an
Hollywood.
experience.
And then we capped it off with a nice show at the UCB, Franklin.
Nice.
Yeah.
What show?
It was involving the comedian Paul Rust, who is one of the guys behind the show Love on Netflix. And we're
He's
both
the-
we were
He's
both
the main
fan
character,
of,
yeah.
and creator and all that stuff. He's like the Lena Dunham of Love.
And he's an improviser.
yes,
Yeah.
and he and his Neil something, I forget. I kind of recognized who he was, but it was their show.
Okay.
And it was semi-improvised. Like all that I think was planned was they had on a display behind them was the cabin, and they went from there. And they involved people. They had 3 other people that were a part of their cast, and they just kind of came in as characters, and they figured it out. It was really cool to watch.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah.
He is so funny.
He's
on
really
It was
Love.
great.
I love that.
And it was
show.
great because he played such like a jackass the whole time. Like the two guys, like Paul and Neil played like brothers, and Paul was like this jerky, like seasoned English professor at a college, and he was just like, but he was like misogynist and racist, and they're like, it was funny because like they were they were pimping each other out, and like Neil would be like, so what's your favorite I forget, what's your favorite poet again? And he was like, oh, E.E. Cummings. Ah, yes. And what was that poem of E.E. Cummings that you always like used to recite when we were kids? And Paul would be just like, here it is right now. And I'm just like, oh,
That's
God.
awesome.
Like,
That sounds like a good time.
They're at such a heightened level that they just like openly fuck with each other.
Yeah. That's the
yeah,
best.
it was a great little trip. But yeah, the Scientology thing stood out.
That was the highlight. Yeah, definitely the highlight.
No
I was
kidding.
actually on my Facebook timeline, not my timeline, but like on my, what's it called? When you're scrolling, the main thing that you look at.
That's
the feed.
timeline.
Your
The
news-
feed,
oh,
yeah,
news
yeah,
feed.
my
Yeah,
news
yeah,
feed.
yeah.
Timeline
Had
is
somebody,
your feed.
yeah, timeline's your personal feed. But anyways, the feed that I was looking through, my feed. I don't know why I'm making this so difficult. Jesus Christ.
There's a thing called Facebook.
There's a thing called Facebook with the feed.
He's very tangential, guys. I don't know if you've noticed this.
There
by
was a
now,
guy that was
but-
talking about he had a job. He's like Scientology Center offered me $300 to spend 2 hours to direct this little video that they want to do. He's like, now I'm wrestling with my moral code versus money. Like $300 for 2 hours, like that's $150 an hour. That's pretty good.
That's good
you know?
money,
And it's,
yeah,
it's
especially
really
for-
funny reading all the comments. Some people are like, "Fuck yeah, just do it," and the other
Yeah.
people are like, "Fuck no, don't help them out." You know,
Right.
like I
Yeah.
don't know. It's pretty. That was.
And like you drive around, and we bumped in like as we were like after the Scientology thing, we hit up a few like thrift stores, and we like walked right by their media studio where they make all those like films where they have the frustrated boyfriend and all that. We walked by that studio,
Play frustrated.
like
play
the
frustrated.
Scientology Media Center, and then famously across from the UCB Franklin is the Scientology Celebrity Center. So where
Oh.
they have like the parties and stuff.
Oh,
so
okay,
just like
okay.
you can't.
Jeez, you can't get
swing
away
a
from
dead
it.
cat in Los Angeles without hitting Scientology stuff.
I was
know.
thinking about you were trying to close on that woman by getting out of there, and it reminded me of this thing that I read recently. It's titled "Always Be Closing," posted on
ABC.
posted on rustycomedy.com. For those of you that have watched this, Rusty Rutherford has been on our show a couple times, or been on Color Circuit rather. So he posts a conversation between him and one other person, and the other person says, "Hey Rusty, do you have a fucking problem with me? You keep interfering with me helping my friend. Mind your fucking business. I'll be in town this weekend. Where's your show? I'll go fucking meet you and we can discuss what your problem is with me." Rusty's response: "Hey buddy, I have a show this weekend, but it's a little pricey. It's $40 a ticket, but that includes dinner and it's a benefit show, so that money goes towards a good cause." And I love this conversation because then Rusty later on told me, he's like, "Yeah, the guy actually ended up talking to me like a normal person later on, and I think is probably going to come to the benefit show and
Always be close.
always be closing."
That's
God
right.
damn it, I love. Yeah, that's just so funny. Like just killing somebody with kindness.
That reminds
Yeah.
me of a movie called Rounders. Really good movie with Edward Norton, and I don't remember who else is in it, but it's really good. If you guys ever want to watch a good movie,
It's about closing.
It's
or
about
Scientology?
a
Yeah,
pyramid
you're bringing this
scheme.
around.
It's about a pyramid scheme.
Ah.
Yeah.
Wait, what
Very
reminds you of
interesting.
of
Always
Rounders?
be closing.
Always be closing.
Always
Oh,
Because
okay, okay.
closing.
That like phrase reminds me of
Got
Yeah.
it. Got it.
pyramid schemes, and it reminds me of that movie, which is a really good.
That was a
movie
long
about,
ways. That like I feel like there was a dot here and then a dot here and then there was no connection for.
I
a
know,
good-
I'm sorry.
good
There's a
5 minutes.
pyramid
They
in
are
between.
connected.
Yeah.
I do make
to cut out.
connections.
Eventually.
Eventually,
Yeah,
it just
yeah.
takes me a little while.
So where are we at on time?
I was just wondering that.
Yeah, we're just about an hour. I think a little over.
Great.
About an hour.
Yeah. So what do you want to do? You want to get this game started?
Sure.
Yeah.
So coming up next on Color Circuit, we're going to be doing this Total Recall card. Is it a card game, tabletop
It is a
game? What's all
cooperative
those?
card game.
Okay.
Yeah. And tabletop encompasses all sorts of games that would be played on a table. So
Mhm.
that includes pen and pencil, which
Mhm.
are like role-playing game.
Right.
There's card games. There's board games.
Mhm.
There's what other kinds of games would be in tabletop? Anyways,
Lots.
it is a tabletop game and a
Mhm.
card
Mhm.
game, specifically co-op. And Jessica loves co-op games, so we'll see how it is. Not a
do.
lot of reviews, not a lot of information just on this in general, but I'm excited because
We're doing it.
we do love us some Rick and Morty, and I just got done watching this episode last night for like the second or third time.
Yeah, I think I like co-ops because I'm not very competitive by nature.
Okay.
I'm like one of those people who is like, everyone wins,
Yeah.
and you all get a prize. Like
So you're what's tearing making
Our country
kids into
apart.
pussy.
oh
Yeah.
yeah.
You're what's making
Yeah.
America not great
Yeah,
again.
guys.
You know what?
I
When
don't
you
like-
play
I
soccer,
don't like
I
hurt
keep
feelings.
score.
I don't like hurt feelings. I like everyone to feel like a winner. So
This is a texturized can.
I was noticing that I was drinking those when we were doing the improv thing. And I was just
Yeah.
feeling the cans like, yeah, it's like there's a grip.
I can't
Yeah.
believe they went out of their way to do that.
it's
Yeah, it's just gonna be thrown away.
Hanson's
Yeah.
orange soda, delicious.
It's actually
Crisp.
okay. I don't love it. It's not
Yeah,
a
it's
crushed
not
soda.
the best orange soda I've ever had,
Coca-Cola, it'll slowly kill you.
but it's more delicious than Hanson's
Not,
orange soda.
not slow enough.
And it actually has caffeine in it, which this does not. So
Tree water from trees.
Squozen from trees. So we wrapping this up? We're wrapping this bad boy
Yeah,
up?
let's
Yep.
do it. We'll be
Let's do
on
it.
in another 10, 15 minutes or so when we get this board game up and running. And then we're going to do some pre-records
grab
tonight.
your
which we
drink of
haven't-
choice and watch us.
Yes, please do. So, yeah. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. What's
Bye-bye.
that from?
Bye now. Oh, Aladdin.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
Aladdin's coming off the carpet.
Yeah, Genie
after-
says it.
Bye-bye now. Bye-bye now.
Bye.